So, in your worksheet for today, you should see the question up at the top that asks what changes do humans make to their environment? Why? What is the impact of those changes? So, today we're going to be looking, just like our slide says, at human environment interactions. We've talked more about the environment when we talked about the different regions. Now we're going to add humans to the mix and how humans and the land interact. Okay, and we're going to be able to answer the question at the bottom: what do people do to change the land and why? Okay, because we talked about settlers coming to the land. Now we're going to see what do they do once they get there. Now, first, let's do a little bit of a region review. How are the Southwest region and the Southeast region different? I have a climate map where green is going to show me more rain and red is going to show me less rain. I see that the Southeast region gets more rain than the Southwest region. I can also look at my product map or my economic map or my natural resource map and look at the different natural resources that we find in the different regions. Okay? Looks like I have forest and timber here. Looks like I have gold and silver here. Okay, different natural resources as well. Now let's jump into our topic for the day. Ways people change the environment. Well, people engage in mining, clearing land and draining swamps, drilling for oil, and building dams and levees. We're going to focus more on the first three today. We're going to talk about those last two, building dams and levees, a little bit more tomorrow. So first, mining. Mining means digging in the ground to reach the natural resources in the earth. People dig mines to get coal and other minerals like gold, iron, and diamonds. Coal can be used as a fuel. Gold, iron, and diamonds, well, those are all minerals that have their own uses. Clearing land and draining swamps. Now, people clear land to build roads, farms, homes, and stores. They have to actually clear the land, all the trees, to have room for all these things that people need to survive. Now, sometimes when we clear land, we build large businesses or factories, and many large businesses and factories can cause pollution. This nasty picture shows a factory just dumping their chemicals and sewage into the river, and it's so nasty. I'm going to change the slide now. All right. Now, before we move on from clearing land, we need to talk about farming, because farming is one of the main reasons people clear land, okay? Everyone needs food, so we all need farms, okay? We all depend on farms, and farms are one of the main reasons that people clear land. Now, in this picture, we show people growing crops using irrigation. Oh, new vocabulary word. Check out irrigation over here on the side. You're going to need this to fill in your worksheet. Irrigation means using canals, ditches, and sprinklers to water crops. So look at the way they make canals for the water to flow in, and they bring sprinklers through, and they do all these changes in the land to make sure that the water can get to the crops. Okay, that's irrigation. Drilling for oil and gas. That's another way that people change the environment. So people drill for oil to get fuel for cars and homes. That's what oil and gas is used for. Now, people also build canals or waterways to transport the oil. So we'll see maybe there's an oil rig here drilling oil, but the people don't come out there to get the oil. They have to go take the oil to a gas station, to a refinery to clean it up and make it usable energy. Okay, so then they cut these paths through the swamp that they can then go take it to the store, gas station, refinery, wherever they need to take it, where they can sell it. Now, how do these changes impact the environment? People are doing all these things to the land. How does it impact the land? Okay, now we're going to fill out that second column of your worksheet. How does clearing land impact the environment? Well, when people clear land, the plants and animals die. All right, the plants are mostly chopped down. Those plants provided homes for animals that no longer have homes, and they have to flee. How does drilling for oil impact the environment? When people drill for oil and dig canals, coastal erosion occurs. And coastal erosion is when land is worn away by wind and water. And drilling for oil can speed up this process. We're going to talk more about coastal erosion tomorrow. Don't worry about that too much yet. Now, you might be wondering why. Why do people do these things? Well, people do sometimes harmful things to the land to get natural resources from it. These resources are sold or turned into products by workers to make money and run the economy. Only renewable resources can be taken from the earth without harming it. So, to answer this question of why do people do these things that harm the earth, well, it's their job. If you live in the Northeast, you may be a coal miner, even though coal mines are bad for the environment, because that's how you make your money and that's how you make your job. What your job is. Down here in New Orleans, we use the Mississippi River to ship oil everywhere. Well, all this oil in the South needs to come down the river to the ocean and then ship around the world. That's a lot of people's jobs. So people do these things because their jobs depend on it and it makes money for their area. All right, it gets more complicated later, but for now, that's what you need to know. We're going to talk about coastal erosion tomorrow.